Captain's Log Supplemental. Today we got word that Netflix and the CW have come to an arrangement that will give Netflix exclusive streaming rights to the CW's programming. And this really surprises me. This came totally out of left field to me because there had been so much talk for a long time with CBS at least, and I think by extension the CW, although I'm not sure. They of course are related companies, and it seemed like there'd been a lot of talk that CBS, of course, famously because they have CBS All Access now, that they don't want to have to share their revenues at all with another company, that it's not enough for them to get paid to have their content streamed, that they want that money to come directly to them, and they think that they can do better by having their own streaming platform and just have those revenues go directly to them. And I don't know how well CBS All Access is doing at this point, and how true that is. I don't know if they get a better revenue stream through that, or if having a contract with Netflix would actually give them more money. But given now that the CW is giving Netflix exclusive rights, it sounds to me like maybe they got wise and decided that they wouldn't do as well with CBS All Access. There had been some talk that the CW shows were supposed to go to a streaming app with CBS All Access. I read that a few months ago, and I haven't read anything about that since. And I guess if Netflix is getting exclusive streaming rights, that's not happening anymore, presumably, unless maybe like next day shows, they get, because I guess the idea is that they have exclusive streaming rights for seasons, but of course the CW is still going to stream their shows on their website the day after they air, and you get like the last, just like with Hulu, you're able to go back to the last 4 or 5. I think it's 5 with the CW. So this is really good news if you have cable and streaming you only binge watch, because if you have cable and you watch things when they're on, you don't care about streaming next day, because you wouldn't need Hulu necessarily. You could just watch things when they were on, or you could TiVo things, tape things, whatever people do. And so for those people, this is really good news, because Netflix now is not only going to be the only place that can stream those things, and I think, was it already? I don't know. I know that's those things are on iTunes and stuff, but I don't know if they fall off after a few episodes. So I guess that if it wasn't before, now it's the only place where you'll be able to stream a lot of the CW shows, and like full seasons of things, including of course all the superhero things and iZombie and some of their other programming. I don't know. I guess there's a list of... I saw a list of new shows. I'm not sure they're going back how much stuff they'll have, like if Smallville will ever finally be included in this or not. And some of their older shows, but some of which are on Netflix right now, and some of which, of course, are not. Not only is it going to be the only place where you can stream those seasons, but they're also finally going to get them 8 days after the finale date, which is kind of unheard of. I don't know that any of their shows are streamable a week after the season finale. There may be some things there that do that. I'm not aware of any of them. I've kind of gotten used to the idea that a show has to start its next season on Netflix, and I don't mean CW, I mean everything, that a show has to already have started its second season before you're going to get to watch it, the last season on Netflix. And apparently with the CW shows now, that's not going to be the case. So that is an exciting thing if you're binging after the fact. If you're somebody like me who uses Hulu as an alternative to cable, this isn't as good of news. So I mean, it's going to be great for folks that just binge, but I'm a little bummed out by it personally, because now I've got my Hulu account that is going to be a little bit less useful. There are some other shows on other networks that I rely on Hulu for and watch there. But what's irritating about it is that both CBS and CW have kind of crappy players on their websites, and I kind of hate I kind of love having that one-stop shop. And with Supergirl, I always had to go to their to the CBS's website, and I really don't like their player. One of the reasons people really hate CBS All Access and don't want to have to pay for it, besides the fact that it's yet another streaming service and there's not enough stuff there yet, is just the player's not very good. At the very least, you have to have a reliable player if you're going to expect people to pay for your streaming service. And theirs isn't so much. And so now I'm going to have to, although I guess I don't have to go to CBS for anything anymore, because at least Supergirl's going to be on the CW. But now I have to go to both Hulu and the CW, which is a little bit aggravating, but it's not the worst thing ever. At least the CW has a player, and at least it's a lot better than it used to be and a lot more reliable. Not the player itself so much, but just when they post things. Back when Smallville was still on, sometimes you'd get the new episode a couple days after it came out. Sometimes it was a whole week later, and they usually didn't keep up more than one or two at a time, and it was they were really inconsistent about it, and it's not that way now, so that's good. So I'm glad they've gotten wise to that. So it's not like I'm not going to still be able to watch those shows, and that's good. But come to think of it, the other thing that sucks for somebody like me, and this isn't everybody, certainly, this is kind of just my unique situation, but it's not totally unique. Other people do this. I also pay for because I watch so many TV shows. And of course, I almost said I have to watch so many TV shows. I used to for Crisis. A lot of those shows now, of course, I wouldn't have to watch if I didn't want to, because we've got different people on the channel covering them, which is great. It's better for my brain, and it gives me more time during the week, but I still keep up with a lot of those shows, and sometimes I wait and watch 2 or 3 of them at a time now. But the thing is, because I was watching so many things for Primetime Crisis, I started paying the extra $3 or $4 or whatever it is a month to watch commercial free. And now the majority of what I'm watching, I'm going to have to watch with commercials again, which means it takes longer. So I was able to watch a 45-minute episode in 45 minutes, and now it's going to take an hour again because the commercials are going to be put back in. And CBS and the CW both, I think, maybe CBS more, because it's been a while since I've had to do this with CW. But CBS especially had a lot of commercials. It took at least as long as it would to watch on television with the commercials, and it's just watching as much as I was watching. Again, not as big of a deal now that we've separated out Crisis into the individual Crisis blogs. But I'm glad this didn't happen back when we still did Primetime Crisis live. I mean, for me, I guess that's good. So this is a kind of this is kind of a good and bad thing in my mind. There's pros and cons to it, and it all kind of depends on what kind of a viewer you are. A lot of people are cord cutters now. I know very few people that still have cable. I know a few, certainly. I know Manos still watches things when they're on and on cable, and he posted today on Geekvolution and said, "Good news." For Manos, this is good news, and I think certainly for a lot of people it is. But for others of us that have been that have finally found a pretty good alternative to cable and not having to pay for cable. It's a little irritating, just because, I mean, that is 5 shows that I watch. That's, all of the CW superhero shows. That's 4 now, and iZombie, that I'm not going to be able to use my Hulu plan for anymore and not be able to get commercial free. So that makes me kind of question if I'm going to keep Hulu, and I wonder if a lot of other people are going to have that too. Folks that just have Hulu because, I mean, there's enough people that watch just the CW superhero shows and nothing else, that I imagine that I probably wasn't the only person that got Hulu because of the increased viewing hours that I have now that there's so much superhero stuff on. I wonder how much business they'll lose over it. That's interesting. That's a thing. But so anyway, if you still have cable, or if you just like to binge everything, and there are those people too. There are certainly cord cutters for whom this is still a really good thing, because a lot of cord cutters aren't watching week to week anymore. and they're binging everything as if it was a on-demand thing in the first place. And so that's great for those folks as well. I don't know how much better this is going to be for the CW as far as business goes. I don't know if this is a good business move, but it absolutely surprised me. It really floored me, because it seemed like for the longest time last year or beginning of this year, they were talking about wanting to keep streaming rights exclusive for themselves to take away from Netflix. Like it seemed like they wanted like Netflix was kind of the problem for them, and Hulu too, to an extent. But it seemed like this was kind of a way to, you know, get out from under Netflix's thumb, the CBS All Access thing, and it seemed like a lot of CW was going to go to that. And now they're totally getting in bed with Netflix more than they ever did before. So it makes me wonder what kind of a deal that was, and just how much Netflix offered them. This is a really interesting business thing, if nothing else. And as I said, certainly I'm still going to get to watch these shows, but it makes me think I might have to just personally kind of change around the way that I'm watching things a little bit. Thanks a lot for watching. Sure appreciate it. This concludes today's Captain's Log.